All right, for the first part of segment 1 today, we're going to cover actions in Mutant Chronicles 3rd edition. And actions is just, it's everything. It's what you can do, right? So it's not just going to focus on combat. That'll be in the second part. It's just what can your character do in the time allotted, whether that's a combat round or just some sort of cinematic nonsense, whatever. We'll figure that out once we get in here, right? So let's move on to, I can't find it. There it is. All the way down there. As you all know, we believe that role-playing games should take place in fantastic worlds, and that the focus of the game should be on role-playing and having a good time. The core values of hashtag RPGate and any good tabletop group are escapism, not representation, entertainment over activism, and natural, organic inclusion, not forced diversity. This has been a public service announcement by NPR.
That's great. No, wait. No, it's not. You got to be a little angry. Watch this. Anyone watching this right now that has ever gone on Twitter and said, you know what? That podcast, that live stream, that game doesn't have enough trans people, doesn't have enough people of color in it. I'm going to say something. You can repent right now by donating $5 to Legion of Myth. You can clear your slate and actually get into heaven someday if you give us $5. Just like all of the TV preachers, I promise. I will guide you to light. Thank you.
Get that Warrant song stuck in my head now. Heaven isn't too far away.
It's $5 away.
It's $5. There we go. All right. The charity we support is the Wounded Warrior Project. Check that out. It's got a little new logo there because up until this video, if you watch any of the videos for this one, it's the wrong link. I completely forgot to set up 2023. I had it done in the background. I just didn't set up all the links for it. So this is the actual link for Nerds and Warriors for the 2023. And the charity we support is Wounded Warrior Project, a national, nonpartisan organization whose mission is to honor and empower wounded warriors. Please refer to the description below for the link to where you can make your tax-deductible donation, or just click on that QR code with a little happy helmet guy in there. Doesn't he look like a nerd warrior? Isn't that how you'd picture a nerd warrior?
Yep, 100%. He flies drones for a living.
He flies right. There you go. Join us Thursdays and Saturdays. Cheapers. I don't even know what day you stream anymore. Join us on Thursdays and Saturday evenings on twitch.tv/Legion of Myth to watch Heathen Dog and his team of dirty casuals play multiplayer games for your mockery and enjoyment. And here on the YouTube channel, you can watch these game-related segments live every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time, or check out the Friday Night Chill stream where our panel of guests opine, comment, editorialize on the TTRPG hobby as a whole. And of course, this is a live stream podcast. We are going to go off tangent like what Heathen Dog just did a moment ago. You're probably like, oh my God, get through the ads. But Heathen Dog had a point to make, and he got to jump in there and make it. That's how we do this here. Subscribe for points.
Yay.
Subscribe is still not worth $5. I'm just saying.
Yeah, fair.
It's not going to get you to heaven.
It's not going to get you heaven. It'll get you closer.
It'll get you close.
But those gates aren't going to open until the full $5 is paid. Remember that.
All right, Heathen Dog, you've got the chat. Well, I've got the presentation here.
Okay.
I don't know why I wanted to upload a video file when no, I want to share screen. There we go. Let's share the screen. I don't need audio. It's just a book. Boom. All right, let's F11 this bad boy. All right. Full screen it. And there we go. Now, look at that nice presentation there. All right, Mutant Chronicles 3rd edition. That is what we are covering. Today is going to be action. So let's go to our little linky poo here. And Chronicle Points, performing actions on page 116. Follow along with us as we talk about actions. I may speed through this chapter just a touch more than the combat chapter, but it is going to be a bunch of reading as we go through what actions are in this game. Because let's be honest, in most role-playing games, probably the most important facet of the game is how do I do stuff, right?
Sure.
So we're going to scroll down to, whoop, not there. Let's see. We don't need the intro. It basically says, hey, this chapter is telling you about actions. So, all right, types of actions. There are several, I think just 4, but several different types of actions a character can perform during encounters. Some actions take less time to perform than others, or may require a skill test to determine whether or not an action succeeds or fails. The four main types of actions are standard actions, restricted actions, free actions, and response actions. And I don't know how I feel about response actions. We'll get to that.
Although that sounds like a WotC game, attack of opportunity, or
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, not response actions, restricted actions. I'm not sure how I feel about.
Okay.
Response actions makes sense. It makes more sense to me. All right. So standard actions generally either take some effort to perform or require time to accomplish. This is what you'd consider your standard action in a normal game that has an action type system. You'd have to roll a dice or take some time, take some effort. It's not like just dropping ammo. It's not just like looking down at Heathen Dog and saying, "Hey man, what's up?" No, you're actually like, okay, I've got to physically do something. I have to code this. I have to shoot something. I have to focus on my driving because somebody's trying to ram into me. Whatever. You have to focus on it. So shooting an enemy with a pistol, grappling a foe, assembling a mounted weapon. Notice that this game spends a lot of time focusing on combat. Like none of those. I gave options that were driving, computer programming, and combat. This was like, no, it's just combat. Screw off. Restricted actions. Restricted actions are relatively minor and usually do not require much energy or effort, but do require a certain level of focus. If a character takes a restricted action, only perform one free action per restricted action taken that turn. Now, restricted. This is the thing about restricted.
Understand that.
So, a restricted action is this. It doesn't really have. This is me talking. Doesn't have a direct game effect. You're not shooting somebody because that would require a roll. Mm-hmm. But it's something you have to focus on. If you're clearing your weapon, right? You're re-racking it. You're probably looking in there, find out if the casing flies out. You're dropping your magazine. You're doing some things that requires you to focus. So you're not fully focused on what's going on. You can't do two things at one time.
But since you are so trained in this action, it doesn't require a
skill
whole
roll.
lot of mental effort besides paying attention.
Right. Yes. And that's why this is just a personal thing, and in some conversations I've had with people over the last week, I guess I did more things this week. It's something that in the 90s I would have looked at this and be like, yeah, okay, this makes perfect sense to me. I like it. So I can do this with a skill roll. So a standard action, I can do this with a restricted action. I'm more freeform now, where I think that conceptually I like this, but just having a name for it gives people, wait. What type of action is? Who cares? I'm trying to unjam my weapon and get back into the firefight. Can I do it? Yes. It's just I wouldn't call it personality. It's just a preference, I guess. So unjamming a weapon, recovering from a status effect. So taking a breather, basically, like holy Jesus,
getting up from being knocked down.
Yes, right. And we'll look at status effects, if not this chapter, in the combat chapter. Or moving somewhere within close range are all examples of restricted actions. So movement. Now, movement in this game, for those who have never played it before, this is going to not make sense, but it's very similar to like Forbidden Lands. It's very similar to the Year Zero engine. In fact, this chapter, with the exception of not being a D6 dice pool system, I really saw a lot of the Year Zero engine in it. And I'm sure this came up first, but that's why I did comprehend some of this. So, free actions are minor, often narrative things character does that do not require any energy or effort. And basically, with the exception of if you perform a restricted action, you can perform as many free actions as you want up until the game master says, okay, stop it. Shh, calm, simmer. If you got to, if I want to talk to Heathen Dog, pop some chewing gum in my mouth and kick off a shoe, I can do all of that because it makes sense that I can do all of that.
Yeah, pushing the same button several times in a row. That's easy.
No, that's when you get that little bird in the water thing.
Oh, right. Yeah, you got to get the bird thing to hit it for you. That's right. 100%.
So, and it says here, a character can take any number of free action on his turn, or he may take a restricted action and one free action. Now, why did it say before it's as many? Because you can use your momentum and talent, more probably talents, to get extra actions. Okay. Response actions. Unlike free actions or standard actions, response actions do not occur during the character's turn, but are special actions triggered by some event, such as an enemy attacking. No matter how many different events occur that could potentially trigger a response, a character cannot perform more than one response action. So you can parry one blow, you can dodge one attack. Once people start ganging up on you, you just have to hope those dice rolls go badly.
Okay.
Well, there we go. Those are all our actions. I guess this chapter.
Yeah, that was done.
This chapter is quick. I wasn't sure how much I was going to read. I kind of realized I didn't have to read it. I'll go ahead and throw some of that chat up there that we got.
Okay, I only got one.
Okay, well, one's enough. I do like the layout of the book more than the original STA, Star Trek Adventures.
Yeah. This
book is older than Star Trek Adventures. At least I think it is. The combat chapter, however, can have off a bridge with Dan. There were editing issues, and I don't know if I'm going to end up reading them because I didn't write them down which paragraphs they're in, but there are definitely editing issues in what I read for this week's segment. Yes. So we'll see. I mean, now, his issues might be more because he's a Conan player, and maybe he likes the way Conan's written better, and we don't know the differences yet. I'm not sure. But yeah, I had a little bit of a struggle reading some of the stuff in the combat chapter of this book. But
there's more now.
Oh, okay. The 2D20 system is actually an offshoot of Fantasy Flight Games' Star Wars game design because the same guy designed both systems. Oh, okay. So it's a Genesis system? Modiphius has designed a game similar, designed a system similar. See, if I don't look at it, I can read it. To Final Fantasy games, Star Wars using only D20s and D6s. Oh, that's good information to know. Not for me, but for folks out there. So, I mean, on the surface, I like the 2D20 system. No matter what happened in last week's videos, I actually like the 2D20 system. It just needs limitations. So with that, because I'm going to end it now, we're going to have a really short video for that one. The next video will pop in, like 2 days, I think, and it will be on combat. So look forward to that one. Please like, subscribe, share, and yeah, we'll see you then.